Hi and welcome to today's video where I am doing a collab with Fern for Syrian Hamster, where we will both be sharing how much we spent at the vets in 2022. So I'll leave a link in the description to her video. So make sure you check that out after you've watched mine. So last year, Fern for Syrian Hamster asked me how much had I spent on my vet care in a year, and I was just like, I try to avoid looking into that because I know it is a lot and I just pay it and then I forget about it because it has to be paid. I do want to mention that my vet's is an exotic vet, and if I can't get in with the exotic veterinarian that day, I can see somebody else who's got small animal experience, and if need be, they then confer with the exotic veterinarian to decide the best course of action with my hamsters going forward. Also, this is just what I pay and what it costs me. Different areas of the country can cost more or cost less. Different vets with different experience can cost more or less. It's all a bit variable. I like my vet. I trust my vet. My vet has got the only exotic veterinarian in the local area. And so just in case you didn't know, often a lot of the small animal vets do not have exotic animal experience, and the hamsters come under that category. So the hamster's first visit last year at the vets happened in March, right in the middle of me moving house. So unfortunately, both of them had to go to the vets that time. Moonbeam, because she had a urinary tract infection and she needed antibiotics, and that worked and that cleared that up. And then Comet, I'd found a lump on him and I'd spoken to the vets over the phone, and I had some pain meds here left over from previous vet visits, so they agreed that I could give him that until he could be seen at the vets. Then the morning of the vets, lo and behold, when I picked him up to put him in his travel carrier, the lump had disappeared, but he was left with like this scab on him, so I sent him anyway, and it turned out that there was a little infection in there, so he was also put on antibiotics, which did clear everything up, and that whole visit cost £118.33. So I don't have a breakdown of that cost, but that covered the 2 consultations and 2 lots of antibiotics. Then the next visit was for Moonbeam in June, because she was having breathing difficulties. So she was put on antibiotics, which I already had some left over from the previous visit, and she was also given some medicine to help with the fluid on her lungs, which we thought was being possibly caused by heart failure. So because we weren't 100% sure, we tackled the breathing difficulty with the antibiotics in case it was a respiratory infection, and also the heart meds in case that was what was causing the fluid in her lungs, which it did turn out to be that. So that time the consultation and the heart meds cost in total £65 and 5p. But on top of that, I also want to make note of this. I also recommended making a nebuliser, and I have a whole video on that, so I'll leave a link up at the top in the corner if you want to check that out. And so for that, the nebuliser cost me £36.72, and the F10 solution actually cost me £22.19. So that was a further cost on top of that visit. But those 2 items I could order online when I got home. Unfortunately, while that treatment did seem to work for Moonbeam for a few weeks, she then went downhill, and sadly, after discussing everything with my vets, it was thought more humane to have Moonbeam put to sleep. This cost £91.2p. Then in August, Comet was back at the vets to do with his fur loss that has been happening on and off since the previous year, but this time he had scratching and itching, so I was concerned that his quality of life wasn't great and I wanted to try and improve that for him. So this time 2 vets actually got together to discuss his situation, and they were thinking that he might have some form of cancer. But due to his age, we all agreed that we didn't think it was fair on him to start doing further tests. So we were just coming up with ways to try and manage the fur loss and the itching and the scratching to see if we could improve things. This time the consultation cost £40, and I actually already had ordered some fur loss medication over the internet, which had cost me £28.99. And we were keeping him on a low dosage of pain meds while the itching scratching was trying to get that under control, but we didn't know if it would because we didn't know if it was cancer or not. But in the end it did all clear up, but his fur loss has been an ongoing issue, which leads me to the next appointment at the vets. So the last visit of the year to the vets was Comet in October, and we had to come up with a long-term plan for the fare loss and also I thought he was getting arthritic because he was getting a bit stiff when he was wandering around his cage. So it was decided to keep up with his fare loss treatment long term, because every time I stopped it, it would happen again. And due to him being arthritic, it was decided to keep him on a low dosage of pain meds, just long term. And my pain meds was running low and almost out of date, so I needed to get a new prescription filled for that. This time the consultation and the pain meds cost in total £83.99. But I had also just recently purchased some more medicine for his fare loss online, and that had cost me £18.94. So in total for the year 2022, my vet bills cost me £398.39. But on top of that, I spent another £106.84 in medicines online. Obviously, the medicines that I purchased online were items that my vets had recommended to me. They were items I was randomly purchasing without getting advice first. I know it's a tricky subject to maybe talk about because it's involving money and vet care for your hamsters, and I feel I don't always open up about what my vet care costs or what treatment my hamsters are having, just because I find it quite emotional and sometimes upsetting to discuss that. But I thought this was an important topic to discuss. I hope it just shows how much these little animals can cost in vet bills and how important it is to have a vet fund. And if you've got any experience with taking your hamster to the vets and are willing to share, please comment below. And don't forget to go over to Syrian Hamster's channel and check out how much she spent on her hamster vet care last year.